Hello and welcome to Beyond the Finish Line, the podcast for runners of every pace, every distance, and every goal. I'm your co-host, Georgia. I am a 5-time marathon runner, a content creator, and I'm currently training for my first ever triathlon. On today's episode, we are going to do Matt's entire race recap from Kosci 100. We're going to hear about all of the highs and lows, plus our highs and lows of our week just gone. But before we get into that, let me introduce you to the other half of this podcast, Coach Matt. He is a 5-time Ironman, an ultra marathon runner, and he is the owner of the Performance Project, Australia's fastest growing endurance community. How are you going, Matt?
Yeah, mate, I'm all right. Just on the recovery wagon at the moment. But yeah, doing good.
Yes, how awesome. I'm so excited to get into today's episode. You and I have not spoken about this at all. I haven't heard from you or anything since you raced Kosci, so I can't wait to hear all about it.
Yeah, to be fair, I had to catch up on so much work from the Performance Project for the few days I had off. So that was where all of my brain power has gone the last 2 days. But we're here now, and I definitely was deliberate in not talking to you because I wanted to save it for the podcast.
Yeah, so good. And I did see you mention that on some of your Instagram posts where you were telling people you're like exclusive to be on the finish line, which I love. We're so lucky to get to hear all about this.
Mm-hmm.
So super exciting. We've seen some snippets from your videos, which is awesome. We had Jimmy down there shooting you the whole weekend, plus the other athletes, which is super, super cool. Can't wait to
Mm-hmm.
see that doco come out.
Yeah, I don't know what the timeline is for it at the moment. Probably a month or so, I'd imagine. But yeah, we'll do the initial race recap here, and then if you guys want to watch it, it'll be on YouTube, Performance Media, YouTube, and things like that. So it'll be good fun.
Yeah, of course you want to watch it. So good. I got my sub 4 doco and I loved watching that. So I cannot wait to watch your doco as well, which is awesome. How are you feeling? I know obviously you've probably just come home from Kosci. Talk to us about the last, 5 days since we last spoke?
Yeah, got home yesterday, so finished the race about 1 o'clock Saturday night. And then since then, just eat a lot of food, sleep, recover. So it hasn't been too exciting since then. Went down to Kosci Wednesday.
Yeah.
Um, did all like check-in, all that sort of stuff. Sam raced Thursday. She did the 30. My brother-in-law, Brenton, he did the 50. They were both raced on Thursday. And then they crewed me on the Friday. So Friday, Saturday were kind of my race day.
So good. So talk to us about Samantha's race because
Mm-hmm.
she had I don't want to ruin it, but like talk to us all about it. I saw some amazing things.
Yeah, so Sam, like her, and obviously her main sport is Olympic weightlifting. Like she doesn't really run to be a better runner. She runs because she enjoys running.
Yeah.
So she probably only runs 2 or 3 times a week. And then when she decides to do an event, she'll ramp it up just a little bit. She did the 30K and she was like, anything under 6 hours, I'll be stoked. And she came in like 5 hours and 20 minutes on a really tough course. So 40-minute ahead of schedule, which was unreal.
So cool. Is that her first time doing the 30K distance?
I think it might be. She's run a marathon before, like road marathon.
Yes.
I think that's her longest trail. Oh, yeah, that is definitely her longest trail run. Yeah, she did 20 something at Lonely Mountain before.
Okay. So cool. I love that. And so then she crewed you for your 100K.
Yeah.
Talk to us about what crewing means. What does that involve for her?
Yeah. So her and Brenton. Crewing is basically a mobile aid station. So we have checkpoints set up it just depends on what the race says, but sort of every 10 to 20 kilometers. And basically everything you need, your crew has. So you come into an aid station, sit down, they'll change your flasks over in your running vest. If you've got a water bladder in the back, change that over, food, change your shoes, change your socks, all of that sort of stuff. Anything that's going wrong, that's the time to fix it, and then you go again.
Yeah.
So I'd say it's a harder job than running the 100K. It's a big job. Like I couldn't have done it without them. It's a huge effort. Like, and they've got to make sure that they are getting from point A to point B to point Z, like in a timely manner. So they're set up when you arrive. So like you don't hemorrhage any time, because there are people who rock up to aid stations and their crew rock up 20 minutes later. So
oh, wow.
yeah, as if you do that one or two times, all of a sudden you've added an hour to your race. So
Yeah.
yeah, if the crew's got to be there, got to be on time, and yeah, it's a big job.
That's it. It's incredible. I remember seeing some videos on like on your Instagram from the guys crewing you during the
Mm,
day, and it was just so intense. I messaged Sam being like, I don't know how you're doing that. You're just so like in the zone. She's like swapping your bottles out,
mm.
handing you snakes and stuff, and like you were like calm. It was really awesome to watch.
Or me being me in my pedantic ways, we practiced all of that. Like we drilled it, trained it over and over and over again. So that was not Sam's first time doing that. We had lists, check spreadsheets, that we knew everything that we needed at certain times. I knew like all I had to do was say I needed salt, and like they give me salt tabs. Like I didn't have to ask, I didn't have to explain anything to them. It was
Yeah.
just yeah. So everything was drilled. They had a good system where I would take my pack off. Brenton would handle that. So he'd just change the bottles over and whatever. And then Sam would just give me whatever nutrition I needed or change my socks or whatever on the spot.
Wow. And
Mm.
so they're crewing you for your entire race. Are they there till 1 a.m. as well? Like they're staying up the whole time as well?
Yeah, they're there to the finish, start line to finish line.
Wow.
So
Okay,
it's a
cool.
big job because like
Yeah.
they're rushing to a location and then they just sit and wait. And
Yeah.
then, like you said, I come in, it's like a hurricane, boom, 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 boom. They got to pack up and then they got to go again, and they sit around and wait. So it's surprisingly draining job, like because you think, oh, they're just sitting around waiting for 2 hours while I'm running. Surely that's harder, but no, it's a big job.
It is a big job. Oh my
Mm.
gosh. I don't, yeah. Look, I've never crewed for someone, so I'm not quite sure. I'm excited this year
Come
to
down to
be,
UTA, come
yeah.
crew with me.
Yeah, I've been at races like that before at like trail events before, and I've seen people crewing, like friends crewing for friends, but I've
Hmm.
never done it personally. So yeah, definitely. I'll give it a crack. I'm
Yeah,
pretty organized.
we crushed the crewing up. We worked out that I had a total aid station time of 26 minutes throughout the whole
Wow.
100 Ks.
That's
So
incredible.
yeah.
And so do a lot of people like take a nap or anything at these aid
Mhm.
stations if they're just trying to get through it?
Yeah, for sure. People sleep
Okay.
at aid stations, especially the miler athletes. Some of the aid stations have like an upstairs section that's got like a army cot set up where they can
Yeah.
actually sleep. Um, yeah, a lot of people will sleep for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not uncommon.
Okay, cool. All right, awesome. Well, let's get into it. So,
Hmm.
talk us through race morning or even the night before. How did you go, like having your dinner and getting ready and stuff for the next day?
Yeah, it's interesting because I've done a few with the documentary, and everyone will see this. We kind of filmed it from a uh, recap perspective. So with George's one, she talked about it before the event, which
Yeah.
spoke about mine after the event and sort of went through it. Um, every time I've been asked to do the race recap, it's got a little bit different. And it's got a little bit more detailed as I've remembered more things. So will be interesting to see how this one plays out. So um, the night before felt great. Everything was normal. Um, everything was packed. We went through everything. Like I said, we did last checks with Sam, last checks with Brenton. I had all of my gear ready to go. So that was all sweet. Morning of, slept okay. Woke up and then normally race morning, not nervous at all. That's normally like where I'm pretty at peace and I sort of know what's going to happen. For whatever reason, I was pretty nervous. Couldn't really eat, couldn't really have coffee, just was like, just off. Ended up force feeding myself, but like, didn't feel good.
Right.
Um, for whatever reason, just, I guess, nerves, first 100K, whatever it might be. Um, and just sort of wrote that off. I was like, oh, it's nerves. It'll be fine. By the time you get to the race start and everything, you'll calm down and it'll be all
Yeah.
good. Anyway, had brekkie. We got in the car, drove up. It's about a 40-minute drive up the mountain. And we knew what we were in for because Sam raced the day before and the wind chill was insane, like -10, -12, something like that. 120-kilometer-hour gusts, like legit running into like a cyclone is what it felt like a blizzard. Um, so we get to the start line and it's just freezing. Nerves aren't going away. I don't go good in the cold at the best of times, let alone
Yeah.
this situation. So lay it up, friggin' got my bluff on like a big face mask and gloves and all the gear. And, we're just sort of standing around waiting to start. And about 5 minutes before the nerves really calmed, I actually looked at my watch on the drive up. My heart rate was 110 just
Yeah.
sitting in the car. And then about 5 minutes before we start, I looked down and it dropped down to 45. So I was like,
Oh,
okay,
wow.
like I'm feeling good now. Uh, I just, at this point, and this is kind of a bit of a hindsight thing, I was shaking pretty hard. Like I just couldn't get warm,
Okay.
like teeth chattering, sort of
Yeah.
shaking. And I think in hindsight, I shook myself sick because like I came good. And then as the race started, about 2 or 3 Ks in, I was like, I'm pretty nauseous already. Like this isn't a
Oh,
good
no.
start. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's how the race started.
Do you think you packed, like, I know obviously you have to take a certain amount of gear that you have to have that's mandatory.
Mm.
Do you think you packed the right clothes for you to wear on the day? Like, do you regret not wearing something, or do you think what you wore was appropriate for the weather?
No, I think I nailed it. Like
Okay.
I think if I went any, like, I guess the next sort of level up of clothing would sort of start affecting my movement. Like with the
Okay.
pack on, like if I went like a thicker jumper, I had I had thermals, a shirt, and then like a thick windbreaker on.
Yeah.
I feel like if I went to like even like one of those like small puffers or something like that, that to deal with the wind and keep me warm, all of a sudden like you just can't move your arms while you're running with the pack on. So I feel like I nailed. I feel like I was comfortable with what I did. I don't regret anything that I wore in terms of gear.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't sure, like, were you wearing skins on your legs or just shorts?
No, just shorts.
Okay.
Just I just knew like I didn't want to have to change later. I knew what the day was going to come. Like we went through it with Sam about 10 or 11, maybe even lunchtime. It got really hot really quickly.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah, and I didn't want to be 15 kilometers from an aid station wearing double thermals and a
Yeah.
jacket. And yeah, so I
Okay,
was like,
cool.
I'll cop it a little bit now, but yeah, I don't go well in the cold. Like I said, don't go well in the cold at the best of times. So I'm going to be cold regardless. So I might as well at least save a bit of time.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen you here in Sydney running in winter and you've got thermals on, so
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you poor thing. So,
Mm.
okay, so you got a couple of Ks in and you're feeling really sick. What's going through your head?
Um, Going through my head is I still just think I'm nervous and maybe just like I didn't think I was like sick. I just felt like just something wasn't right, and maybe it was just nerves, excitement, insert whatever. I was like, just get for a few Ks, try and warm up, try and eat some food, get some fluids in, and like hopefully it'll calm down. Um, Force fed myself most of my nutrition between the start and checkpoint one, which is about 16 and a half Ks in, sort of all uphill.
Yeah.
Um, at that point, I was like, oh, something's probably not right with my guts. Like, I'm probably having some form of GI distress.
Right.
Um, got everything changed. Came into checkpoint one at about an hour 50 sort of time, hour 55. Got everything changed over. And then this is like the main ascent of the race where we run from Perisher up to Charlotte's Pass, then Charlotte's Pass up to Kosci. So in the first 26, 27 kilometers, we do nearly 2,000 meters of climbing.
Yeah, that's
So like
crazy.
seven times the amount of Sydney Marathon for a bit of context. Um, in half the distance. So I was like, just take your time, try and eat as much as you can up here if you can eat anything, and just like don't fall behind on nutrition. But I couldn't stomach anything. Started like dry heaving and things like that as I was running. So wasn't enjoyable. But still made it to the top, made it back down. My goal was to get to checkpoint two, which is 36 ish kilometers in.
Yep.
38 maybe, by about 4.5 hours. And I hit 4:30, 4:31 as I ran in. So pretty much down to the minute,
Mhm.
which was really, really happy with that. But I kind of knew I needed to sort this nutrition out. Otherwise, like the rest of the race wasn't going to go particularly well. Um, so came into, oh, sorry, as we ran up Kosci, that's when the wind was just chaos, like 120-kilometer-hour winds on top of a mountain. We had to run through the snow. They'd like cut in a path, like they'd cut in stairs that were just all ice, so people were slipping and sliding all over the place. It was a brutal run, but it was good fun, like good experience to like go up there and run to the top of Kosci and run through the snow. It was just a cool thing to go through.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
for all of our international listeners, because we actually have quite a few of you guys,
mm,
Kosciuszko, or Mount Kosciuszko, where Matt was running and what he's talking about right now, is the highest point in Australia. So if there's going to be snow somewhere, it's going to be there. So they,
but we're
yeah.
also 2 days out, or when we race, 2 or 3 days out from summer, so it's also unusual to have snow at that time of year.
Yeah, they were pretty on their Instagram and stuff. They'd been posting about how the weather had been quite unusual, and so they
Mm.
had to, as Matt said, they had to carve a path out of the mountain because it was just all snow down the side. So, yeah, I'm glad that that was fun for you and not
Mm.
stressful, because I saw that on socials and I was like, oh no, that's not a good sign.
It wasn't too. It's probably only a couple of 100 meters of snow, so like it was just
Okay.
enough to enjoy the experience. But like if it had been any longer, you'd be like, "This is a real issue."
Yeah, yeah, this is
Yeah,
annoying.
yeah. Anyway, got to the top of Kosci. They have the photos set up there so they
Yeah.
get you touching the pinnacle and everything. And then I was like, oh, my legs feel pretty heavy, which I kind of knew would happen. Like my original goal was to push the pace all the way to the top of Kosci, and then from top of Kosci all the way through to checkpoint 3, it's pretty runnable, downhill and flat. So I was like,
Yeah.
push the pace to the top of Kosci, and then sort yourself out after that. So ran to the top, started running down, legs started coming good. Actually made really, really good time coming into checkpoint 2, which is Charlotte's Pass Lookout, which is pretty much the base of Kosciuszko. Started getting some like hot spots on my feet, so came in, taped my feet, fresh socks. Had a few cups of Coke at this point, which I really didn't want to have this early in the race, but
Yeah,
I
that's
needed
like your
something.
it's like your savior.
Yeah, but like I needed my savior.
Yeah.
It had to settle my stomach. And this is where, like, I guess in terms of my performance aspect, my race kind of fell apart. Where I had a going up a couple of weeks before, I'd really planned this out. From checkpoint 2 to checkpoint 4 is very, very runnable with a few uphills. And I was like, if I get my nutrition right and I'm strong, I'll be able to run from 36 to 60, like very, very strong. That was the plan. Not unfortunately, just this how it played out. I was just behind on nutrition, so 36 to 48, give or take, which is Guthiga, which is checkpoint 3,
Yeah.
was just kind of a doddle, bit of a cruise, like
Oh
just trying to,
no.
I was just sort of trotting along. I still made okay time, like I wasn't hemorrhaging time, but it just wasn't great. The good thing is I got to Guthiga, had a few glasses of Coke again, had some watermelon, which is about all I could tolerate. And I noticed I'd started sweating, which is like a really good sign for me in terms of like my thermoregulation. So like I've started to warm up. But this is also 1 o'clock in the afternoon and it's now 30 degrees and I've
Oh.
still got thermals and windbreakers and beanies on and I've only just started to sweat. Have hardly taken in any fluid, have hardly taken in any nutrition just because I've been so cold. But having started sweat means I could start eating, I could start drinking, and like I could start to right the ship. I used kilometers from checkpoint 3 at Guthiga back to Perisher. So we run back to the start line. That's kind of like the first loop. It's about another 10 to 12 kilometers. I just used that to smash as much food as I could, which still wasn't a lot. I was still pretty crook, but like was starting to get some calories in. Mostly uphill too, so that wasn't super fun. But then came into Perisher and I was like, okay, my stomach feels all right now. So like now I felt like I could really start to fix my race plan a bit when we got to kilometer 60.
Wow. At this point, have you had your noodles yet? Your cup of noodles?
Mate, let's get into this freaking noodle situation. Out of everything that happened, this is what I'm most upset about. I have spoke about, I can't wait to be at 10 o'clock at night and just run into an aid station and be like, 1 cup of noodles, please. I have dreamt about this moment. Didn't have a single
Please,
cup.
sir.
Didn't have a single cup. Didn't have it pre-race. Didn't have it post-race. I've got 6 noodle cups sitting in my pantry that probably won't get eaten to my next ultra. Like,
Oh, as
I didn't have a
if.
single one.
You need to go and eat a noodle cup after this.
Yeah,
Just
just out of principle.
yeah, out of principle, so you can
Yeah.
enjoy your bloody
Yeah.
noodles, your Maggi noodles, you poor thing. All I could
Yeah.
think about was I was like, oh, it's getting quite late. Matt's probably having his cup of noodles by now.
Didn't have a single one, so I'm filthy about that.
Oh, Devo.
Yeah.
So you've just come through kilometer 60, as you just said. At this point, had you been sick yet, or are you just starting to feel a lot better now?
By 60, I'd really come good.
Okay, so that would
Yeah.
have, I guess, that would have given you a lot more confidence for the last 40 kilometers, which is just crazy to think about.
Yeah, so still 44 kilometers to go, still a little bit more than a marathon.
Yeah,
I don't know about I was still concerned because I knew how little I had
yeah,
in terms of calories and fluids, and I was like, I really made a conscious decision from this is probably the next shortest gap in terms of aid stations from Perisher to Bullock's Flat, which is kilometer. I can't remember. Perisher's like 60 or 62, and Bullock's Flat is 70,
okay.
and it's all downhill. Which sounds great to everyone listening, but it's a fucking disaster when your quads are that blown up. It's like it really hurts. So I was just like at kilometer 60, Perisher aid station. I just said to the guys, I had like 4 cans of Sprite, just smashing calories, and I said just pack as much food as you can into the vest, and I'm gonna walk as much of this as I need to, and I'm just gonna eat
Yeah,
and drink. So I think it took me an hour and a half, hour 45 to get from kilometer 60 to Perisher to Bullock's Flat. So let's just say 60 to 70. But I ate and drank everything. So sort of felt like I wrote the ship a little bit in that situation. Started to get my legs back under me as I came into Bullock's Flat. And then did the same thing again at Bullock's Flat aid station, cans of Sprite. I was starting to eat like the like baby food pouches, like the fruit
yeah,
puree pouches. Was smashing them because that was about all my stomach could sort of cop. But then from kilometer 70, so Bullock's Flat, back to Threadbow. That's Threadbow's at kilometer 92, which is sort of where the finish is. That 22-kilometer stretch, legs were under me, best stretch of the whole race, like ran really, really well, like really consistent, ran the whole thing, which was unreal. And I came into kilometer 90, like just feeling so strong. I'm going to fucking crush this last 15Ks. Like, I cannot wait. I was excited to go and run it. I was just like
oh,
ready to go.
yeah,
So that was like really, really encouraging after having first time I've run 90 kilometers, but then but feeling that strong and that confident, I was like, here we fucking go. Like, I'm going to bring this home strong. So yeah, and then saw everyone at kilometer 90 or 92, wherever the checkpoint is, got head torches on, safety vests on, like all the night gear, and then it was time to sort of hit the last big climb.
okay. And so, at what point? I think on your socials you mentioned that it was a bit difficult in the last little bit.
Mm.
At what point did that start happening? I know running in the dark is hard as it is, let alone if your balance and stuff starts to go off. Talk us through that. What happened?
Yeah, so we leave. It's called Village Green, but it's in the Threadbow complex. So anyone who's been skiing at Threadbow will know it's just all in that big area. We leave there at kilometer 90 or 92, and then we sort of head up. We just head up straight up the mountain. It's called Dead Horse Gap into Eagle's Nest. So that's sort of 10-ish kilometers straight up. I think there's over 1,000 meters of climbing just in that 10 kilometers. So it's a gnarly course. And then it's 4Ks straight down to the finish. I probably not even 2 kilometers after leaving that aid station, my vision started to go, like started seeing white dots, and then like just ironically running with a head torch. It was kind of like running with a head torch where everything around my vision went black. And just
Yeah.
like I could just see like a very, very small amount right in the middle of like each eye. Like I had a head torch for each eye sort of thing. And then started getting dizzy almost to the point where I was drunk, where I was like stumbling on the course, like my poles were sort of keeping me up.
Yeah.
And then just felt like I had nothing left in the tank. Like it wasn't like a fade, like, oh, I'm getting tired, like I should eat. It was just felt fantastic too. I can't, and this was the legitimate thought at kilometer, let's call it 94, 95. I can't believe I'm going to DNF this race with less than 10 Ks to go. Like
Yeah.
I did not know how I was going to get through this last 10 Ks. I couldn't walk. There were multiple single kilometers. So for me to go 1 kilometer took over 30 minutes. Like just
Wow.
couldn't move, couldn't make progress, would like fall down, was dry heaving, was just like my body was failing me.
Oh my gosh. I mean, you say your body was failing you. I get that, but far out. That's crazy. Obviously your body was trying to tell you something, right? It's just going like, we're not okay right now.
Yeah. So
How do you
yeah, go
get
for it.
through that? Like, I know obviously you're at a point where you're like, I'm gonna DNF this. Like, you've hit the wall and it's the
Mm.
biggest cliff of a wall ever. How do you keep going? You're like, I'm just gonna walk this. I know you were saying like you could barely even walk. Like, what happened?
Yeah, well, there's no running. Dead horse gaps, no, it's not runnable. Like it's
Yeah,
just like I'm 6'1" and like stairs were at my waist, for example. Like that's how big the
right.
steps were. So like there's no running it. It's just
Yeah.
climbing.
Okay.
Um, honestly, it was just one foot in front of the other and just like constant and be like, sometimes I would stand there for 30 seconds, but I'm going to take one step and then I'm going to rest. And I
Yeah.
would do that. And then, okay, like there's a little bit of a flat bit. I can take 2 steps there before the next step. Or there's it is a walking track. So like every couple of Ks, there might have been like a park bench sort of setup. So, you know, if I saw that, I might be like, okay, like 10 steps and you can actually have like a proper sit down
Right.
and not just like leaning on your poles. So honestly, it was just one step in front of the other. And if Dead Horse Gap wasn't as treacherous, like if it was possible to get a vehicle in there or like be able to get sort of some form of medic out, I'm not saying I would have quit, but like it definitely been super tempting. The thing that definitely
Yeah.
kept me going was there is no way out. Like it's a helicopter or nothing. Like that, they're your two
Wow.
options. Um, so it was just one foot in front of the other and just continue to like just don't stop, just don't give up.
Yeah, far out. I mean, you've spoken before in previous episodes when we've spoken about trail running and seeing people on the side of a course who are like hallucinating or crazy stuff's
Mm.
happening to them. Do you think, were there anyone around you? Like, do you think anyone saw you and were like, oh, this dude's not okay? Or do you think you
Oh yeah,
probably just looked
heaps of people were like, "Do you need help?"
okay?
Yeah.
So you weren't like alone out there. Like,
No,
there was
heaps of
plenty of
people.
people around. Okay.
No, and you know what? That's what made it. It was like a little bit of insult to injury because I had run so well from kilometer 70 to 90.
Mm-hmm.
I probably overtook 150 people
Yeah.
and like had good in trail running. You just chat to people while you're running because like it's not like in a marathon where you just run past someone. You sort of run with someone for a little bit and then eventually someone will walk. That's just kind of
Yeah.
how it works. Um, and I recognized so many people and like pretty much everyone I chatted to running 70 to 90 with like stopped and checked on me and they were the ones who like cared. But it was so demoralizing being like, I passed you 3 hours ago and you've caught me. And you've
Oh.
overtaken me and you've gone and like not just overtaken me, like gone up over the hill, like you would have been finished an hour before me. So
Oh,
like
wow.
that was just like soul crushing.
Gosh, I mean, you really went through everything in this race. So you get to the top of that really hard, what was it called
Hmm.
again? Sorry?
So it's Dead Horse Gap and then you
Dead
finish
Horse
at
Gap.
Eagle's Nest, which
Okay.
is like the top of the mountain.
Okay, cool. So you get to the top of Dead Horse Gap. So what happens from there? You got, what did you say? 4Ks to go?
Yeah, so 4Ks straight. So we get to the top of Dead Horse Gap, then you've got to cross an ice bridge, which they've again carved into the snow. So we
Yeah.
cross that and then get to Eagle's Nest, which is like the aid station at the top of the mountain. And then it is 4Ks straight downhill, but it's kind of like the opposite of Dead Horse Gap, where those big stairs that are like waist height, you've now got to go down those stairs. And when your legs are that beat up and that sore, like you just,
Yeah.
some guys were running it. It looks like some guys were proper going through it and hats off to them.
Yeah.
But I was like 2 trekking poles in the ground, put all my weight on the poles, 1 foot, brace, 1 foot brace, like like an old man going down a set of stairs. Like that's what it would
Yeah.
look like. Yeah, and
Oh,
that was not uncommon. Heaps of people look the same as me,
yeah.
but yeah, it was just like it was again paint like kilometers taking over 30 minutes. It took me nearly 4 hours to do 14 kilometers.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
That really puts it into perspective how hard
yeah,
that would have been.
yeah, and like
That's
leaving Village Green. I left at
yeah.
like 12 and a half hours. I'm like, I'm a real shout to go under 15. And like everyone was like, yeah, you're going to break 15 for sure. So, and then I finished in like 3 minutes under 17 hours. To put it in perspective.
And so, when you saw Sam and the rest of your crew, they're obviously tracking you during this
hmm
time, but are you speaking to her at all when you're not feeling well? Like, does she know that something's going wrong, or she just can tell by the fact that you're now taking way longer?
The only thing I said to Sam, like while I was running, I said, I'll bring up the message. Um, this will be a little bit. Um, at Friday at 11:11 p.m. My
Oh.
body is failing me. I'm going to be a while. I'm so sorry.
Oh, yeah, because that would be really concerning for your crew that, they're just like, why isn't he here yet? He should have been here by now. Like, and then not knowing where you are and what's happening besides seeing, a rough pin of where you are on the track.
Yeah, it was helpful because Brenton ran the 50 the day before and he does that part of the course. So
Yeah.
he knew how hard it was and what I was going through. Obviously, a further 50 kilometers in than what he went through. Um, so, like, he sort of kept the ship calm for the rest of them because we had we had Maddie there as well, Dave's partner, who was, he was out running with me as well. So, Brenton sort of kept everything calm, which was great. But he just sort of said, his body can't go any quicker. Like he's pushing as hard as he can. He just can't. Brenton didn't know I was like the severity. He just thought I was fucked, like in terms of
Right.
run 90 Ks and now I've got to climb a
Yeah.
mountain. But like it's the principle was still the same.
Yeah. And so Dave was running as
hmm
well. Your good friend, he's also part of the performance project.
hmm
How was he going? Was he having a similar thing to you, or did at any point you see him on the course?
So we started together.
Yeah.
Our original goal was like So Dave and I had both run Kosci together at a performance project training camp. I knew Charlotte's Pass. I gave him a really good brief on that. And our plan was let's run to the top of Kosci as close together as we can, push each other to get up that really, really tough
Yeah.
section. That's kind of half the climbing of the course done. And then I'm a bit faster than Dave, so it's like, then we'll just go our separate ways. If you keep up, you keep up. Or if one of us falls behind, like when we're okay there. Dave got, or not, I don't want to say he got tripped, but there was like, you're coming into Charlotte's Pass and it goes to like really, really single file running tracks. And just like there's I don't know, 300 or 400 people running. Like there's just traffic. And anyway, Dave fell over and he was fine and everything, but we just sort of got split up there. So I didn't see him. I saw him as I was leaving checkpoint 1. I was coming out as he was coming in. And
Yeah.
then top of Kosci, I was coming back down and he was sort of 200 meters from the top, but we didn't see each other again the rest of the race.
Okay. And so he wasn't one of the ones who like came and overtook you at all.
No,
No.
dreaming, please, please. I could have
Even
gone up and
after
had
he took 4 hours.
I could have gone up and had a sleep and still beat David Simmons. Jesus,
Oh, don't be mean.
David, I hope
Come
you hear
on.
that.
Okay, cool. So you have gotten to the top and you got 4Ks to go.
hmm
How are you feeling? How's it feel coming into the finish line?
You know, it's weird. Um, when you finish an Ironman, and this is sort of what I was hoping for. At least when I finish an Ironman, when I'm about 5Ks out, I can feel the emotion on the inside.
Yeah.
It's like I'm similar to you. I've seen you when you cross a marathon. Like you almost can't hold the emotion back. You
No,
can
you
feel the
can't.
tears. You can just feel it coming. You're like, I cannot wait. I cannot believe I'm going to finish this. I'm so proud of myself. You have this
Yeah.
feeling. I didn't feel anything.
I could tell when I watched that footage of you crossing the finish line.
Mm.
I knew obviously you had said, oh, if I come in over 15, 16 hours, something's gone wrong. And so seeing you coming across the finish line and I could see the time and stuff, and I was like, something's gone wrong because I could see like your soul had left your body.
Oh yeah, that's a really good clip that Jimmy got of like my face. I just look,
Yeah.
I'm just white as a ghost and just done. Like that is a man who had nothing left to give.
Yeah, I could really tell. And I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's not good. And then you hopped into the wheelchair and I was like, oh shit, something's happened here.
Yeah. I mean, regardless of time, just like, and maybe it was because I was just so out of it. Like I just obviously wasn't healthy at that point. Um, Maybe I would feel differently if like I had finished not feeling that way. Maybe there would have been a bit more elation or something like that. But yeah, just I didn't feel anything. I just came down and was like, thank fuck that is done. But in saying that, like as the days have gone on, like I feel like I have unfinished business.
Oh God.
So
Back again for 26.
I'm doing UTA 100. That's in May.
Oh, did I know that?
Uh yeah, we literally just spoke about. I said you cream me for UTA. Like we spoke
Yeah,
about
but I
like
didn't know you were doing the 100. As in, I knew
yeah,
you were doing UTA, but I didn't know you
yeah.
were doing the 100. Oh, okay.
Doing the 100 at UTA. To be fair, I'd signed up for that before I'd even done Kosci, so there's that.
That's a bold move.
Yeah, well, I mean, you could always sell your ticket, but
Yeah.
I do feel like there's a bit of unfinished business. So I feel like if I had truly hated it and like truly like didn't feel anything for it, I wouldn't be already like we're 72 hours removed, and I'm like, okay, like I'm ready to do the next one. Um, I just think I need to have another crack at it, and then I can make a proper assessment. So, um, yeah, I don't want to say it wasn't special because it definitely was. It just I haven't worked out how I feel about it. I haven't worked out how to process it.
That's fair enough. I
Mm.
mean, you went through a pretty big thing, so I can
Yeah, it
imagine
was
it
a
would
big
take a
day.
while. Yeah, it'd take a while to come back from that. Um, so one of the questions in the Performance Project group chat, which I had actually written down in a bit of a show notes thing for today's episode,
Uh-huh.
was talk to us about Kosci 100 versus doing a full Ironman. Do they compare? Are they the same? Are they different? Obviously, I know Ironman, you're doing 3 disciplines. Kosci 100, you're doing trail running. So that is very different. But in terms of effort level and how hard it was, do
Mm.
they compare?
Yeah, and I said this in the performance project. It's a very interesting question because I knew they were going to be very different, but I did think there'd be similarities. I thought there'd be certain points during that race where I went, oh, I've been here before. Like, I know what this feels like. I know how
Yeah.
to handle this. And there really wasn't. There really wasn't a lot of. Yeah, there wasn't a lot that was the same. Even like, obviously, the aid stations are different, the vibe's different. There's a lot of Ironman. Yes, on the bike, you're by yourself a lot, apart from the other athletes, but trail running, you're by yourself a lot. Like you get that 100 meters. I think I saw the guys 6 times in 18 hours. But where, like in Ironman, for example, the whole run course is littered with people, and the whole swim course is littered with people, and the bike at certain turnaround points. So different from a crowd perspective, different from an energy perspective. Ironman's very, and it's different for different people. So I can only speak about personal perspective. When I go to an Ironman, I'm going to race. Like I'm going to push my body to what I can do, like my maximal effort. Where trail running is very just tortoise in the hare, just like one pace all day, just
Yeah.
cruising. Like don't go out too hot, handle the hills, run the runnable, stay on top of nutrition. Like it's very just fundamentals. Um, I'd say I would say the 100K is a tougher event physically because of the impact. Because you're only doing one sport, all of the
Yeah.
climbing, all of the up and down. If let's just say if it was 100K flat road, say same as an Ironman, I would say an Ironman's tougher. Just because you're sort of on the metal, like pedal to the metal the whole time. But yeah, that was the toughest thing. It was like you were just on your legs for essentially anywhere from 12 to, I think the last person who finished was 28 hours. So it's just a long time to be doing one thing.
That is a
Um,
long time.
yeah. Obviously, Ironman's a much quicker sport too. Just even the slower athletes are getting it done in 17, 18 hours. While
Yeah.
there's 10 more hours there for the runners. So it's a long time to be alone with your thoughts as well. It's just very different, very different. I'm not doing a good
Okay.
job of explaining it, but
No, I think you are. I think you've explained that quite well. In terms of impact, 100 Ks of straight running slash
mm.
walking with hills and, climbing and stuff is a lot more toll on your body. Riding a bike, while it is hard cycling, that is obviously less impact on your joints as opposed to, trying to jump down massive steps and stuff like that. Um,
The
I
way
saw,
just for our runners, the way I would describe it, uh, a full Ironman in the comparison feels like a very, very hard half marathon where you've gone out to PB, where you've just like gone pedal to the metal for that period of time, and then you finish, and like hour or two later, you're like, I feel somewhat human, where like the full 100K is like running a full marathon, and like you're like your first marathon, and you're so beat up afterwards. That's probably like a comparison that might help people.
okay, that's super interesting. I like
Mm.
that. Does this make you wanna do the miler? I know you talk about how that scares you.
Yeah, that scares me even more. And being out on the course with the miler athletes and
Yeah,
just seeing the state that they were in. Like they had 60 Ks of running before they got to my start line. And I was like, Jesus. One of my mates, Darby, he was doing it, and he he had a wild race. So Darby isn't the fastest runner in the world. Um, he actually got overtaken by the sweepers at maybe like 60 kilometers in, and they sort of
shit.
tapped him on the shoulders. Oh, it might have been 60, might have been 60. No, we would have been over 100 Ks, maybe like 120 Ks. Tapped him on the shoulder, said, "Mate, your race is done." Um, and he pulled up his socks and went, "I'm not done." And between kilometers, maybe 60 or 70, and Threadbow, so kilometer 90, he overtook the sweepers by 20 minutes. Like,
Wow.
got stuck in, and then after all of that, he looked like he was going to get time capped. So they've got 36 or 37 hours to finish the miler. He got to Eagle's Nest, and a hailstorm came in, like a vicious hailstorm, and they like made people stay at the aid station, but they gave him half an hour extra. So
Okay.
he finished with 12 minutes to go. Yeah,
Oh. So was he sleeping during any of that?
I haven't asked him. I haven't spoke to him. I
Okay.
was just tracking him.
Wow. Far out. And how many people do the miler?
I
How
think there
many?
might have been like nearly 100.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, yeah,
I
it was a
didn't think
bit.
it'd be that many.
I could be a little bit, I could be slightly less, but like there was quite a few people, quite a few.
Jeez. That's crazy.
Mm, yeah,
So how
wild.
does the body feel post 100K? I know you've in the past after an Ironman, you say you kind of lay down in bed and your body's twitching and stuff like
Mm,
that just because it's been through some trauma. How does it feel? Is it different? How do you feel after it?
it's definitely different. I actually slept really good the night after. I didn't have any caffeine the whole day. Um,
Wow.
yeah, which is unusual. I had one coffee in the morning, which I didn't finish. Um,
Yeah.
and obviously we had cans of Red Bull, like all this stuff ready to go. Didn't use any of it. Um,
Not the
got home.
monsters. You didn't get through the
Yeah,
monsters.
didn't even crack one. So I've got them sitting in the pantry at home, ready to go. Um, got home maybe like 1:30, 2 o'clock, something like that.
Yeah.
Slept like a dead man for 5 hours, and then woke up, and Sam was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm just really hungry." And she's like, "What do you want?" And I was like, I'm craving eggs. So we went and got eggs. Um,
I saw you were laying down in the booth at the
and
restaurant.
yeah. Yeah, I didn't have a lot
Uh,
left in the tank, but I was hungry.
you were
Um,
hungry.
yeah, so it the leg pain is something different. Like I knew it was going to hurt, but like, yeah, legs were just shattered. And just just really tired. Said to Georgia off air, I was like, it's kind of like being on a bender, but she didn't really relate to that. So international travel is what we landed on. Like if you ever do like a 30 or 35-hour flight or something and you just like the battery is just dead, that's
Yeah.
kind of what it feels like. Yeah.
Yeah. We were kind of saying it's a bit like, when you just can't think straight, where your brain's
Mm,
a bit mush. So,
exactly.
talk to us about what you learnt on the course. Is there anything that you kind of can take away from this race that you'll take into UTA in May?
Um, from a tactical perspective, or at least from training perspective, training the downhills, which I
Okay.
definitely didn't. I ran a lot of downhills, but I definitely didn't train downhills. So like really maybe like really busting my quads up and then forcing myself to do some hard downhill running or downhill
Oh, okay.
stairs.
Yeah.
Because I would have hemorrhaged a couple of hours with not being able to handle that later in the race. Um, what else? I was really happy with our aid stations. Like sub 30 minutes for 6 or 7 aid stations was unreal. So crew was awesome for that. Um, Everything else I felt really, really good. I was really happy with the training. I felt like I nailed everything. Obviously, nutrition needs to be refined, but that was like more a little bit out of my control. Um, so I'm gonna have a catch up with Lauren, and we'll sort of go through a few things and come up with a few different strategies for that.
Yeah.
In terms of the thing and I've thought about this a lot. The thing I am so happy and pleased with myself is I have a history in endurance events of like my brain quitting on me, like quitting mentally, especially once a time goal's gone. So obviously, for me, it helps me train. I always put like this is like my benchmark. It does not always a PB or something, but it's like this is the benchmark I'm trying to hit. And sometimes when that time goal goes, I sort of lose focus. Um, Even when the time goal was gone and I was in the depths of hell climbing Dead Horse Gap, my brain didn't quit. That was the only thing that got me out of it. It was just like, you keep moving forward. You do not stop. Next step, next step, next step. And Matt of even 2 years ago would have been like, I am done. I am out of here. Call a helicopter. Like, I don't give a fuck how you get me out of here. Get me out. Where it was just no quit. It was refused to quit. And it was just go. And I think that's something I'm super proud of. So yeah, that would be my big lessons.
That's great. I think, as a coach and as someone who has a podcast and a coaching business and is also on social media, I think they're all really things you should be really proud of and,
Hmm.
things that you can take away and say, I gave that everything I had. And next time, if you have an athlete come to you who's wanting to do something like that, you can instill that kind of wisdom on them as well, which is really cool. It's very inspiring to hear. So, yeah,
Thank you.
congratulations. That's
Thank you.
absolutely awesome. You should be really proud.
Yeah, I am definitely proud. Just like I said, got some unfinished business, so I'll probably go for a run this afternoon and get back to work.
Oh dear. Gee, your legs are probably like, please, no.
I feel pretty good today. It's Monday
Okay.
afternoon. Like I'm still sore, but like I am not crippled.
I mean, you've only really had 2 days off though.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're like, yeah, get back to
yeah.
it. Okay, awesome. Is there anything else you wanted to share with everyone about your experience?
Um, I don't think so. I think that was everything. Anything we missed, we would have gotten the doco. So we'll keep you guys posted with that one.
Cool. Perfect. Well, something to look forward to anyway.
Hmm.
They get all the visual as well as the
Yeah, yeah.
audio.
Jimmy's got some sick footage, guys. Like he did such a good job.
Yeah, even the footage of you guys training prior was really cool. I
Yeah,
loved
yeah. He's
seeing
got
that. I
some
was
cool
like,
stuff.
oh, that's so nice. I loved it. He's like sitting in the back of the car filming you guys
Yeah,
run.
yeah.
Yeah, there's something so awesome about having someone there to like film you doing
It
something.
makes such obviously like it's his job and like it's what he does great, but like it makes such a difference. And just the way his brain works, the way creative people's brain works, I'm in such awe of it. Like
Yeah.
he'd be like, let's do this, this, and this. And I was like, I never in a million years would have thought of one of those elements.
Love that. That's why we
Yeah.
love him and why he's
Yep.
so good at what he does.
Hmm.
Okay, cool. Well, maybe we'll jump into some listener
Let's do
questions.
it.
Just to change things up a little bit. We've still got some time. So the first question here is from Jason. I'm 6 weeks into a 70.3 training block, and suddenly my long runs feel way harder than my half marathon block that I just did, even though my pace hasn't changed at all. Is this fatigue? How do I know when I need to rest versus when I need to push through and suck it up?
Yeah, it's just fatigue. You're just doing way more work. Like you're doing a half marathon block plus a 90K bike block plus a 1.9 kilometer swim block. So, and chances are, assuming he said this is his first 70.3.
Yeah, I'd assume so. He didn't say it's his first, but I'd
Yeah,
assume
it
so.
sounds like it. Yeah, so
Yeah.
your body's still learning all new things, new stimuluses. So like you're just like trying to. I always tell people learning in endurance sports like learning a language. So it's like learning easy runs, learning threshold, learning tempo, learning all these things. It's like learning a language. Now you're just trying to learn three languages at the same time. So your body's just like, what the fuck is going on? Yeah, so it's just fatigue, dude. Suck it up. You'll be right.
I know, even like, gosh, I'm doing my little sprint try training and
Uh-huh.
that's, hard and that's got its own fatigue. But then I'm seeing like friends online and stuff training for 70.3s and full Ironmans. And I'm like, I can see the difference in training. So of course you're going to be more fatigued. It would definitely take some adjustment, that's for sure. And I think after 6 weeks, you're probably finding that it's all starting to catch up with you now. So
Yeah, 6 to 8 weeks is like the toughest, and then you kind of fall into a bit of a rhythm, and then the last, depending on how long your block is, but like the last 2 or 3 weeks will be pretty tough. But other than that, you're sweet.
okay, cool. Next question comes from T. Every month around my period, my body feels completely different. Super sluggish, emotional, heavy legs, elevated heart rate, the works. How should I adjust my training during this hormonal time of the month? Should I change paces, swap my workouts out, or just push through?
Yeah, this is something I've actually been trying to refine with the performance project because we have so many female athletes.
Yeah,
Um, and it's becoming way more, I guess, normalized for girls to talk about it and where they are in
yeah,
their cycle and things like that. So, what I am starting to do is look for trends in athletes. So, where they are in week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, and like sort of the feedback they give, RPE, and then we start to tailor it in that way.
yeah,
Um, More often than not, you don't need to change a great deal. It's only when we start to see like pretty dramatic trends. So let's just say week 3 of your cycle is when it's at its absolute worst in terms of energy level. Like, okay, like we can make that like slightly more aerobic, or we can just put in parameters. But like, if you're tired this week, take 10% off. Like, I wouldn't completely restructure the training. I would just tend to be a little bit more flexible with parameters and targets and just sort of give them that barrier, be like, hey, if it's not happening, that's okay. It's also really important that we encourage our female athletes that they're eating and drinking enough during this time and not just like not necessarily what they're craving, but getting in healthy foods.
yeah,
So a lot of girls, I know it's a bit stereotypical, but crave salt, chocolate during this time. And they actually think like they're eating quite a lot because they're eating not necessarily the healthiest foods, but they're not really getting in the calories or the fluids that their body needs. And when your body is going through its cycle, like you actually need quite a lot of fluid and quite a lot of calories. So it's kind of counterintuitive again because a lot of girls bloat and they feel like a bit bigger and they feel a bit self-conscious. It's like your body's actually like you kind of need to lean into that and sort of consume a little bit more as well. So a whole bunch of different things you could do, but I would just say listen to your body, try and identify cycles within or patterns within the cycle,
yeah.
and then adjust accordingly. But don't chuck the baby out with the bathwater, so to speak.
Such a good saying. Look, coming from experience, I like to use tracking apps, especially ones where you can put in notes and things like
Hmm.
that. I found, especially over my last couple of marathons, I really made sure I was tracking my cycle and making sure I was making notes of when I wasn't feeling great. So that, if I did come to a session where I was feeling really shit and I was like, oh gosh, why is that? I'd kind of just jump back to that same time last month and go, oh, okay, that makes sense. I think just giving yourself a bit of grace as well in knowing that, it's okay if you need to drop it back 10%, as Matt said, even if that is more, you need to switch a session around because, maybe one day is just like not ideal for you to be going out and running. So you're like, okay, well, maybe I'll do that tomorrow instead. So yeah, it is tricky. I mean, I've definitely been at parts of my cycle during a marathon and it's not ideal, but once you kind of understand your own cycle, you're a little bit more lenient with yourself and you're kind of a bit more forgiving. So, yeah, that's my tip is just make sure you're tracking everything and making
Yeah.
notes in your phone.
And just on the tracking, like it's actually shockingly easy if you track for say 3 or 4 months, and then you just look back and how consistent those notes will be.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, all of my female athletes said the same. They're like, "Well, let's just look back at this week," and they're like, "Oh shit, that's exactly how I feel today." I'm like, "It's not a shock."
Yeah, I know. It's kind of like when you just burst into tears and you're like, why am I crying? And you're like,
Yeah,
oh, wait, makes sense.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Oh gosh. Okay. Well, speaking of hormones, Eliza has asked us a lovely question here. She said, "Hey, Coach Matt and Georgia, I'm in my first trimester of pregnancy and I'm still running, but every day feels super different. Some runs feel normal and others feel completely impossible. How do you know when to pull back? I feel bad for not doing every workout, but I also have bad morning sickness, so I don't really know what to do. Please help me."
Mm,
Have you had
tough
any
one.
clients like that, Matt? I mean, I don't really know how to answer this. So,
I've coached a few girls into second trimester.
yeah,
Um, it's a little bit. I'm probably not the best person with this because most uh most of the girls I've coached who have gotten pregnant, I've said, hey, let's not worry about coaching. Like I'm just going to give you guidance.
yeah,
Unless we're really really close to a race that they want to do,
yeah,
I'm definitely more encouraging of them to like be like listen to your body. In terms of when you need to pull back, I have seen heavily pregnant women train deep into blocks, like deep into pregnancy, running marathons. Tia Claire Toomey was like training for the CrossFit Games, heavily pregnant, like doing Olympic weightlifting and things. Um, so like I don't know necessarily think there is a a specific time. I think it's very athlete or person dependent. Obviously, talk to your doctor about it. I personal belief and like anecdotal, just like being around and coaching some pregnant women, the longer they have kept training, whether that is endurance or strength work into the pregnancy, the quicker they've bounced back and the quicker they have got back into training, felt healthier. Um, so I would say like even if it is just moderating intensity, the longer you can train into pregnancy, even if that is on the bike, elliptical machine, something that's no impact, strength training, very, very important, uh, the better. That's probably where I would leave it. I wouldn't say there's any sort of specific protocol that we do at the Performance Project. We take a very athlete by athlete base.
yeah. I think that's the best way to look at it. Every
Mm,
pregnancy is so completely different.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
Some people get morning sickness, some people get none.
yeah, and I've got friends who have trained their entire pregnancy. They've run their
Hmm.
entire pregnancy. They've done a marathon midway through, that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
And then on the other side of it, I have friends who couldn't get out of bed every day or really struggled with like HG and things like that, who've
Hmm.
been extremely ill their entire pregnancy. And then others who are somewhere in between. And I think everyone is just so completely different. I think it is totally okay if you know your body more than anyone. So, you can just answer that one a little bit more for yourself. In terms of like, I know Matt mentioned just before, like bouncing back, and I know Matt, you didn't mean this at all. I just want to make a note and say, there's obviously no requirement to go anywhere
Mm,
near where you were before. And again, I know Matt, that's not what you were saying. I know exactly what you meant, but I know some people that's kind of a bit of a funny word online. And so if your worry is that you're not going to be able to come back and be as fit as you were before, I think reminding yourself that you are growing a human and that you're probably just, as Matt and I always say, you're in just a different season of your life. And so maybe just having a look at what you're doing now and go, okay, does this benefit me? Am I running because I want to run and stay fit, or am I running because I feel like I need to run and I have
mm.
to? So, yeah, just remind yourself that every pregnancy is completely different and you definitely don't have to do one thing or the other. And yeah, I guess just taking it day by day.
Yeah. Yeah, I just said definitely not what I meant in terms of like getting back to peak fitness, but like getting back to training is obviously healthy postpartum. So that's
Yeah.
what I meant. It's like getting back to movement, enjoying training. A lot of women, like if they stop training 2 or 3 months before they give birth, like, and they might have 6, 8, 10, 12 weeks off on the other side, all of a sudden you haven't trained for half a year. So like it's definitely like adds up.
Yeah. Yeah, and I knew that's what you meant. That's
Yeah.
just, I know sometimes like listeners who don't know us very well, we sometimes get the other side of it. They're like, "Oh, you said this." And it's like, "Okay, sorry, that's not what we meant."
Yeah.
So it can
We're
be.
trying to speak to everyone, not just you.
Yes, exactly. So hopefully, Eliza, this has helped you. Feel free. Eliza sent me this DM, so feel free to like message me back and we can chat more about it. But again, as always, like speaking to your like medical professional, your doctor, your OB, and all those sorts of things about this sort of stuff, because
Mhm.
depending on like also like if you did this before you got pregnant, totally, you can, they say you can keep doing it. If you didn't, they always say like talk to your doctor about it. So look, we're not medical professionals, we're on a podcast.
Yeah.
So just take what we say as best
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can with a grain of salt.
Yep.
Oh dear. Well, that is all of our questions for today. Thank you so much, Matt, for your amazing race recap. From everyone at TPP and the Beyond the Finish Line podcast, we are so proud of you. That's epic, 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 epic. So, congratulations.
Thank you.
And yeah, thank you so much for listening to episode 46 of Beyond the Finish Line. This has been Matt's recap of Kosci 100. If you aren't already, head over to Instagram and follow us at Beyond the Finish Line _pod. Head over to wherever you get your podcasts. Make sure you like, subscribe, download, share this with a friend, put it on your Instagram stories, and keep on listening. Thanks so much.
Hooroo.
Bye.